Obviously I'm not behind the optic, Max is behind the optic, but chatting to him, it seems like it's a good budget sight for guys getting into it. I mean, we're shooting clear, broad daylight, no issues until we tried zooming in and spotting a shot, which is what's expected off budget glass, really, isn't it?
I'm Max. I'm Patch. Here we have like a 0 stop. Okay, so using use gun 1, go down.
Where we size them up, it's called softer sausage.
Another video of us just shooting.
Just in the field shooting.
We've got the Wulf Defender on there again. And we're trying to build up a video for like a comparison. So we're going to do some shoot with this, and then we're going to stick the Arkin EP5 on. We've got the trigger cam today. We've had some issues with our trigger cam in the past where it connects, but it's not that
Clear.
Yeah, it's not very clear, and we've fiddled around with the focus and things, but then it will drop out. I mean, so we got it today because it does look good when we've got a shot, and then you can see exactly what I'm seeing, or if Pat shoots or whatever. See how it goes. If it's on the video, it's on the video. If not, anyway, that's from me editing. Sound. We're using CCI subsonic. I wanted to use Ely subs, but they didn't have any, so we're using CCI 40 grain small game subsonics. They are hollow points because I use this a lot for like pest control. So I just want to keep building up data for like hollow point subsonic ammo, but it should be absolutely fine for some of the shooting we're doing today. Yeah, let's crack on. So we've got a 0, I've bore sighted, or roughly bore sighted yesterday. We've got the plate out there. Again, we're using the plate just because there's nothing really to hang a target off, and we'll 0 off the plate. And then we'll go from there.
What a lovely day for it. El Scorchio, 25 degrees.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Right, I am on glass, mate.
Okay, I'm just going to aim dead centre.
Yeah, just go dead centre, we'll try and pick it up. Hoofing, you're on, done.
Yeah, that's the end of the video, guys. Cheers for watching. Okay, so...
Go again, because I didn't see which one of those dots it was.
Yeah, okay, so...
aim top edge.
Yeah, because...
For me?
So those two, you see where I was aiming just then, the highest sort of little group?
Yeah.
I'll aim pretty much, so in line, so...
aim in line with the two, clasps.
Yeah.
That holding the sight up.
Yeah.
Just so then I can see a full.
Yeah, literally, so my my vertical stadia line is just in between those.
Cool. I'm on glass, mate.
I think it's just turbo low.
1.6 mil low. You're on for line, I think.
Yeah.
If it's the right one, you're on for line. And then if you are that far low, in fact, no, come at 1.6. Come at 1.6.
Okay. Okay, exactly the same aiming point.
Same aiming point.
As soon as I see a shot, we'll just 0 off that shot.
Impact.
Oh, mate.
Wow! What a correction! Yeah, for that.
Yeah, right. Let's confirm. I'm gonna do a group now.
Yeah, mate. Exact same spot. Exact same. Well, slightly higher, but same. They're sat on top of each other. Send one more. That was slightly high. Yeah, impact, same.
Holy shit, that one was well fast. Well, I'm going to spin it back round. I'm going to aim for right hand edge.
See that mirage tracking all the way through the scope? What a day for it. Back to that same point of aim?
Yeah.
Yeah, impact, mate. Yeah, good group there.
Let's take it back further. Okay, cool. So we've reset the target out. We're happy with 0'd. I'm not going to slip my scales because the reticle, that whiskey mill reticle, basically our graduation's in my reticle, so I can hold. I don't need to slip. And I said we're going to swap them through, so there's no real point. We've tested the tracking on this and it's been absolutely fine, so I'm just going to hold. So I've got in effect 0-0 on my sight, and I'm just going to hold 4.9 mil high, and we're going to do, we worked out the wind. So the wind, so a low of 3 mile an hour to a high of 7 mile an hour coming from full value from the right. So 90 degrees to our right, 3 o'clock. We're going to go over the average, which is about 5 mile an hour, and that gave us a hold of 0.7 right. So we'll start with that. From here, we've got wind. As we get nearer to the target, it pretty much dies off. So we can
It's all
use
sheltered, isn't it?
Yeah, so we can use majority of the wind at our location, and we'll see how we're getting on. I'm just going to reconnect the trigger cam.
So when you look down glass with that trigger cam, just have a look around the target, because you can see that, like, it's actually quite strange. About 3 meters left of the bush, sort of where the target's hidden in, the grass isn't moving. Come out sort of 3 and a bit meters, and you can actually see the grass moving with the wind. So it's in the right little sheltered spot.
And that's one thing that we can't, like, you sort of struggle with more budget glass, is those little details that kind of give you hints about what the wind's doing. You lose out when the glass isn't as clear.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, and it's same with like mirage and stuff. Some, like, mirage is a great tool, especially on a day like today where it's quite warm.
I can see it wisping across in this.
Yeah, exactly that. So that's CFS. You can definitely see the mirage. On this, it's a little bit harder to see, if you can see it at all. So again, we're just using, we just got a Kestrel wind meter there, and we've just used a quick wind calculation. Yeah, we'll go from there. 0 to 50, we then pushed out 100 meters further away, pretty much. We're at 143. And what happens? Right, I'm gonna set my parallax. Cool, I'll check my parallax.
Just hold centre, mate.
Parallax looks good.
See what I mean? Can you see down that? Can you see down the Wulf at the grass? Is it picking that up? Because if you can get that on the tree cam footage for the guys, that would be brilliant.
Well, the grass just to the left of the target.
Well, you see the target, and then come to the right of it towards the hedge. See how the grass isn't moving, and then you come about 3 meters left, and it's blowing an absolute gale.
Yeah, I'm looking at it through the trigger cam. I don't know whether you can see it, but
It's quite interesting,
I'll zoom in a bit.
especially for like hunters, and that target presents itself coming out of a bush and thinking foxing or whatever. Another thing to think about, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I think that because the thing with grass as well is grass starts moving at around sort of 4 or 5 mile an hour, and it doesn't always give you, depending on how long the grass is, sometimes it gives you a direction, but sometimes it just gives you a cue on, okay, I've judged it at this mile an hour, what's the grass doing? Grass isn't moving, okay, so maybe there's no wind there, or I've judged it too high, X, Y, and Z. But I said, you get part of the story using a wind meter like we've done, and then the rest of it, we've got to kind of judge it from there.
Observation. All about mastering that craft.
Right, you on glass?
I'm on glass, mate.
Okay, 4.9, I'm going to go 0.7.
Holding 4.9 here.
Yeah, holding 4.9. So 4.9 centre, and then we've got quite a lot of mile an hour on that target, to be fair. Pretty much because I've got a mil pretty much on that target.
Oh yeah.
So I can hold right hand edge,
and it'll drop in.
Hopefully it should drop in, regardless of what the wind's doing.
Try that then, let's try that.
Yeah.
Hold right hand edge and then let's see if it drop in.
Yeah. Firing.
Impact.
Impact. There
Centre.
you go.
See that? Did you see that?
It's a little bit on the right. You see? Oh, was that the one I shot earlier? Was
That's the one you shot earlier.
Fucking.
See that?
So that hit
see that initial group you were aiming for at the very start of
Yeah.
the session? It's just dropped below them.
So that hit at 0.5. So that is what 0.2 off of what we said. So the wind sort of dropped off a little bit. I did feel the wind drop a little bit there.
Yeah. But like I say, holding right hand edge there gave us a mil of play.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, cheating because the target is pretty big. Obviously, we've got this target for a very multi-purpose sort of target. That, and it was the only target in Sportsman when we walked in, or the smallest one they had. But I suppose if that's because 0.3 is a 1 MOA.
Yeah.
So if we said 0.7 and we hit 0.5 with 0.2, we're not giving ourselves too much room for error. But I mean, we hit, so let's go for another one. So there's no wind now, so I'm going to hold a little bit more centre.
Impact.
By the look of the plate, it just moved back, so it must have been fairly central.
You're hitting 0.2 below that original group you were looking at.
Okay.
So you can afford to give it a bit more elevation.
I mean, to be fair, that last shot was 311, and I've been shooting on, my solution is for 320 average.
Yeah. It's dropping a little
So
bit.
it's dropped, but if wind's coming from the right, so right subtract, it's going to bring it high. No, so actually, yeah, it's probably just the muzzle velocity's just dropped off a bit. I'll give it a little bit more than, I'll hold it probably about 5.1. Wind's picked up a bit, so I'm going to hold right edge.
Impact.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more than happy with that.
Did you see where that one hit?
Let me zoom in, see if I can see it, because that's another point. I suppose obviously we forget we're reviewing. We just get sucked
Yeah,
into
I was
shoot.
going to say, yeah. Just have a look what it's like when you zoom right in.
So it is ever so slightly milky. Again, because we've got a few shots in there, it's a bit difficult to see where I was hitting. I mean, one of those shots has landed next to that group.
Next to the group, yeah, you're in and around that group every
Yeah,
time.
yeah, I think I can see what you're saying. So it's kind of about middle.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that at all, mate. I'm not mad at that at all.
No, brilliant.
Okay, cool. So we've set up a target out there. How far was it? 200?
196.
100. Okay, fine.
You were close. You were close.
196. It's not a bad judging distance from me. So 196. We're 143 before. 196.
Wind's picked up ever so slightly. I
Yeah,
think.
I've shot more rounds now. My average has actually come down by by 2 mile per hour.
Okay.
Meters per second.
Meters per
sorry.
second, yeah.
So I'll actually adjust that on this because we were hitting low anyway.
Yeah, ever so slightly low. Yeah.
Cool.
Nothing crazy. I think if anything, might want to give it slightly more now. We're pushing.
Yeah. So we'll have a look. And the max it was gusting was about 7.
I do think if you hold right edge like last time before, we'll drop in.
We'll have a look. We'll see what the mile per hour. This is why it's important. Whenever you think of wind, you never think of it. Obviously, we made a solution for the centre because I'm going to be dynamically changing where I'm aiming. However, you should always give a bracket. You should never just give, oh, I think it's this, because the wind doesn't just do solidly that all the time. You want a lower and a top, and you want to have solutions for the lower and the top, so that you can look at your target and go, my lowest is 0.2, my highest is 1.1. How big's the target? Well, actually, if I hold right hand edge, the target's huge, so it will hit regardless of what the wind's doing. Or the target's quite small, but my wind switch or my wind mile per hour is going to dance up and down. I don't know, maybe say about a couple miles per hour, meaning okay, I've got quite a tight bracket. And I've got a tight target.
It's essentially what we're doing here. If we were aiming dead centre of target, we would then only have 0.4 left. I think it's even smaller now. We probably have 0.4 or 0.3 left on the target, but in actual fact, if our hold's 0.7, we're missing out 0.3 of that hold. So if we hold right hand edge, we're just favouring right with the same hold, and we've got more to fall onto that steel target. So it's just all about bracketing and being smart with your shot placement.
Yeah, exactly that.
That's what you're thinking.
So I'm thinking I'm going to have a look at the target and I'm going to see what my aiming marker could be. If the target's tiny, then we'll just have to feel the wind. I mean, the wind is pretty much doing the same as it was, so we can either go for 1.4, wait for a gust, or we can wait for a lull and then use 1.6. Okay, so a bit further away. Set up. Oh yeah, so I need to hold 8.5 elevation.
That must be getting to the bottom of that reticle there.
It's not. It's about halfway down, but I'm on
Okay.
10 mag.
Got ya. Yeah.
However, in the trigger cam, it might be a bit low. I'll zoom out a bit. It also looks so blurry in the trigger cam. I'm a bit nervous about that footage. That's better.
I'm on glass, mate.
Yeah.
So that's gusting quite hard there, so you might want to favour 1.4.
Yeah. Sort of my alignment. Oh. Schmedium's kicking my ass. Because it's not far from mill. The target size is about 0.8. So you've actually got a fair amount of whack there.
Yeah.
Because I can pretty much hold it. I can hold it 0.6 to 1.4 actually.
Yeah, so do that.
All right, I'll
Do that and show the drop in between the high and the low winkle.
Let's do it. We haven't verified any of this trajectory data either, so this is where it's going to rear its head if we're miles off. Okay, 8.5, holding 1 mil centre. Wind's dropped off, I'm holding nearer.
Impact.
Impact.
Nice central impact as well.
Yeah, I just felt that wind drop off just before I shot. I'm going to hold, okay, fine. So because I still cover the whole thing, I'm going to hold that I'm going to hold a mil centre.
Yeah.
Because I pretty much cover from the right hand edge is about it's pretty much 0.6, and then the other side is 1.4.
Yeah.
Miraculously.
And that low was off 1 mile an hour as well,
Yeah.
if you remember, and it's not really doing that, so.
Okay, so I'm holding 1 mil centre, 8.5 elevation, regardless of the wind, what wind's doing.
Impact. That just proves there the importance of bracketing your wind, not going, it's 4 mile an hour, it's 7 mile an hour. Do a high and a low, and if you can cover the target, cover the whole target with your reticle. That's what it's there for. It's a ruler at the end of the day. Sweet. That is the Wulf Defender 2.0 at 200 metres in 9 mile an hour wind on 22LR. That was alright, that was cool.
Not bad at all. Cool. Average 320. 320 on the nose as well, so I can write that information down, and I've got quite a lot of CCI left.
What's your thoughts on it then, running it out, obviously zeroing and then pushing out to 2, because 200 metres is a fair way on 2.2. What's your thoughts on it, Max?
As I said, like, even from the day we picked this, from the day we literally took it out of the box,
yeah.
I've been impressed.
Yeah.
Because it felt pretty solid, and it still does. The only thing I will say is, since we've been using it and we've been sort of changing bags, put it on different different rifles, taking it off, the turrets do feel a little bit, even when they're locked, they feel a little bit looser now.
Okay, that's interesting.
But that might be something, that's probably where I just haven't tightened them, maybe to the perfect tolerance, just because I keep taking them off, putting them back on. But like the turret, so the parallax was a little bit stiff when we first got it, and the magnification was a little bit stiff, but that's getting better.
What do you think of the parallax in it?
I mean, it's working.
Yeah. Does it denote the correct distance?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm aware,
as close to.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
The scale on it, sorry.
So yeah, I mean, I set it to 200, then I confirmed my parallax by using the little head wobble. If you don't know, get to know. And that was, as far as I'm aware, it's fine. But as I said, it's quite a big target, so I could be hitting. Again, I've got quite a lot of tolerance there. I mean, we were grouping like an MOA at 50 meters when we zeroed. So obviously now we've got target that's 2 and a bit MOA. I could be off parallax wise, and I'm still hitting the target. So that's actually not that fair on this. But as far as I'm aware, it's been fine. And when we've used it on different rifles,
when you use it on the stair, it's all right.
Yeah, it's been fine. Yeah, but as far as I'm aware, like it's absolutely fine. And I think the good thing with 2.2 is you can get to those higher elevations. You know, if we at the for example there, I mean, I was holding, but the other day we were shooting 175 yards, or was 160 meters, and we were dialed on 6 point. I can't remember off the top of my head. It was 6 point something, 6.3. And obviously we dialed on, and the time of flight was what? It was like 0.6 when I had a look at it. So it was like, for a centerfire rifle, for a lot of them, that's like a good 500 meter, 600 meter shot.
Oh, yeah,
so
absolutely.
You're getting. You're getting
the distance.
It's just not the look. And as I said, like the glass isn't as good. And you can notice that when you zoom in, it looks a bit milky. You can't see things like Mirage that well, and it is a really good day for Mirage. You can't see a lot of these little things, but you know that it's 450 quid.
Well, that's it. That's what I was about to say. 450 quid. Yeah. Like, we'll have a look what it's like against the Arkin. So do a little 1v1 versus, but yeah, for 450 quid, you can't get.
Yeah.
It's nearly the same price as the moderator. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all right.
Like straight from the off, that wins over price because it's cheaper. Or at least one. It's got 1 point there because the Arkin. I mean, range. I've seen a different few. The EP5 ranges from like 400 to 800 quid, dependent on what time of year and where you buy it from. And I think they've got a Gen 2 coming out now. I can't remember what one it is. I think ours is Gen 1.
Yeah, we'll have to have a
So
look.
it means that's actually going to drop in price.
Yeah. It's
anyway.
a great time to be looking at these budget optics.
Yeah.
With all the new stuff coming out, so many companies now are looking to that budget market, well, because they're not fighting for 1% down here.
Nah, yeah.
Up at Nightforce, Leopold and all that, they're fighting for 1%. So these, it just has to shoot straight, and or the reticle just has to track straight. That's it.
Yeah. And I think what's brilliant as well is because there is, well, this isn't brilliant, but because there's cost of living crisis and things like that, people are
Brilliant,
not.
cheers.
Yeah. People aren't as willing to spend as much money. So people are like, also I say people, manufacturers are working harder to get more bang for your buck. At least that's what it feels like at the minute.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So hopefully we see some good stuff for cheap.